I started off with planting tobacco and cotton.
Cotton too.
Yeah, I raised cotton right here. Since I've been living over here, raised cotton right there in the field over there.
Where was you originally born at?
And I was originally born in White Plains.
In White Plains.
And then my daddy moved to Brown Neck. I call it Brown Neck. Down there where a mechanic farmer in there.
Yeah.
What the building them houses in there? To the house right in there. He moved from White Plains up there to Taylor's farm and farm Hardship.
Half shells.
Ernest Taylor was the main name. He run the sawmill and they had 2 or 3 farms. They had folks on farming for him. But he run a store in Broad Neck. He had a store, he had a sawmill, and then he had 3 or 4 farms. And I grew up on when I began to remember to go to work. We was on a Taylor farm.
How many brothers and sisters did you have? I know you had 2 brothers.
To 7 boys and 2 girls.
7 boys and 2 girls.
I was the boy next to the older one, to the next to older than me.
Was that the one that worked with Nelson on the?
No.
I remember him. I don't remember his name, but I remember him. He worked with Nelson. Robert.
His name
was he worked with Nelson on the farm forever.
He was under me.
Oh, he was under you.
Under me. To the one older than me. And then me, and then Robert, and then there's another one named Ben James, and then David and William. They were the boys.
And there's one in Broad Neck that comes over here a lot.
That's David, yeah.
I got you. There was a story about when you had to plow with a mule. You telling me before, plowing with a mule when you were so young, you couldn't even pick the plow up.
Yeah, plowing mule. But see, I had to do more work than my brother was older than me because I was more apt than he was.
Oh, you do more work and you're more active.
To send him to school, and I had to do the work because he was about a year and a half or 2 years older than me, and I was a little smarter than he was. I catch on faster than he did.
Oh, you were smarter than him. I got
And he would let him go to school, let me stay there and work. I caught up with him and passed by him in school.
He caught up with him and passed by him in school.
Yeah. But like you said, I stay home and plow, a double plow. But I couldn't turn the plow around and put it in the ground at the end of the field. I had let the plow go way on John and circle around.
Let the mule drag it around.
Time might be to set it back up, see.
Right, when he come up, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Time to get back to the spur where
you couldn't pick it up and turn it around.
No.
You let the mule drag it around in a circle. And
right.
You straighten it back up.
Yeah. and that way I do the plowing. And my brother, he went to school. But in the end, I think I had to do all the work because I said, looking at it now, I was the smartest one,
Yeah.
And by being, I was more apt than he was, he had to go. He went to school, so Mama said that she loved one more than do the other one.
Right.
Want all of them go up together,
Yeah.
And he went to school because at night when you're getting your lesson, she would ask him a question, and he couldn't answer. Sometimes I'd sleep, wake me up, and I'd get an answer.
Yeah.
But see, I don't know. I just that much smarter than he was.
Yeah.
And as we grew on up, I always was the one that had to do the most of the work, because I didn't know I was going to catch up with it after a while. And my daddy got killed at the sawmill in the Lugwoods. I think I was 10 years old. My older brother was 12.
I didn't know that.
Him and Bonnie Walker, you didn't know him, do you?
No.
Him and Bonnie Walker cut logs together. They cut a log, depends so much a log, I don't know what, 2 or 3 cents or 5 cents or whatever. But then they cut a log by the piece.
By the piece.
Yeah, by the piece. I don't know what, but I don't know what to pay them a lug, you know.
I don't quite understand by the piece.
If you cut that tree down and they got 3 lugs on it, they paid you so much a lug. I don't know what, a 5 cent, or 10 cent, or 3 cent, or what. You cut by, they were cutting by the piece. They weren't working by the day.
By like board feet.
By the lug feet. I mean, if you got 3 lugs or that 3 pieces of that lug, you pay for three pieces. You didn't get paid for it. Let me see how I fix it.
You didn't get paid by the whole tree.
Yeah, you only got paid what you got out of it.
Yeah, right.
They kind of still do that with hardwood. They pay by board feet. You know what I mean? They still kind of do that with hardwood. They pay by board feet. Pine is a lot of, like your pulpwood is by the ton.
And that day you got, well, I really want to know, well, folks said sometimes you don't know what happened, but you look at it after they're gone, you kind of figure they must know something. Because Mama said when he left the morning going to work, she hadn't got up to bed. And he come back to the house and said, tell the children put some leaves in the pig pen before they go to school or after they come from school, something like that. But anyway, he had told her before he left. And then he turned around and come back and said, don't forget to tell the children put some leaves in the hook in the hook pen. And he went on. And when he come back that night, he was in the back of the truck. They cut the last tree and said, Bonner told him, said, time you get to the mill, it'll be time to go. And he said, let's cut one more. And he cut that other tree, a limb from up in the top. One tree hit a known or something, and a limb hit him right in the middle of the head. So he never gapped and went on there.
I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either.
And they brought him to the house before they came to the funeral home in the back of the truck. Bonner sitting back there in the back of the truck because they were the partner.
Yeah.
And Ernest Taylor was the one owned the mill, and he was the driver. And wanted to know what the funeral home would take him to. And they carried him to Lawrence, to Horace P. Jones Funeral Home. And they figured that he must have wanted to tell her something. Because why he come back the second time and tell, don't forget, now he done told her.
That was over 80 years ago. You still remember it?
Yeah, I still remember that. Yeah, I won't never forget that.
Over 80 years. You said you were 10 years old. You 93 now.
Yeah.
That was 80.
He said, Mama said he come back and
83
told him
years
that,
ago.
look, don't forget to tell the children put some leaves in the hook pen. And then after he got killed, she figured that he must have wanted to tell me something and didn't know how to tell me. See, that's what we think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when after buried him, Ernest Taylor had to go to court because he was working for him, and he agreed to pay a certain amount of money a month and give her somewhere to stay. And she stayed on his place. Let's see, she wanted to leave from off his place. So he started, the coach told him he had to build a house. He built a 2-room house on her daddy's place. Well, her daddy was, that's my granddaddy, her daddy. Right in his side of his house, on his property.
Yeah.
And that's where we grew up at. And then when I come 16, that was what I said, 67 under me. Now she hired me out, but she had to sign a contract that if anything happened to me, she couldn't sue the man that hired me.
Yeah.
But nothing happened. And he had I had went to work for the help take care of the children, the other children. And each child got, Ernest Taylor had to pay so much a month till the child got a certain age, then that drop off. Then that drop off, then drop off. till the last one. She was pregnant when he got killed. I don't know how many months she was pregnant, but she was pregnant when my daddy got killed.
Your mama was.
And he had to take care of that one. But that's the way they worked. But I think that's what learned me how to work. And at that time, I think I was making 65 cents an hour. And I had to give my mama half of what I made. Now, 65 cents an hour, they
That's a lot. Oh.
and 40 hours a week. See, they ain't what, $25, $26, $7. They ain't $30 a week.
Yeah.
And I give her half of it. And I had to I live off the other half. But when on Friday when I come home and give her half, they should tell me you need to give your grandpa something. They should tell you give him $10. Now she done got about 13 and give him 10. They ain't left me with nothing. But you had to obey your parents.
Yeah.
But see what I done, I always worked overtime, but I wouldn't tell her what I made in overtime.
Work overtime.
That's the only way I can make it. I work overtime.
Yeah.
But she ain't know nothing about that, see. Overtime, you did get time in the head.
Yeah.
But you know, that's what a lot of these kids don't have nowadays is the respect of their parents.
Mm-hmm, yep. And when she found out then that I was working overtime, I think I was, I don't know exactly how old I was, but I come home one evening with a car.
Come home with a car.
I come home with a car. I had bought me a car, and she wouldn't know how I got the car. She knew what I was making, but see, I never told her nothing about the overtime.
Yeah.
And I had to work enough to save enough money for to buy me a car.
Yeah.
But the 38 Chevrolet.
38 Chevrolet.
I just remember what it cost me. It didn't cost $300 or $400. That's all.
A 38 Chevrolet was your first car.
38 Chevrolet. Mm-hmm.
Around what year? What year?
I don't remember what year it was.
38 Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm. But I look at what I don't know where I got it from, but anyhow, brand new 39 Ford, 39 Chevrolet, whatever, 39 Ford, 39 Chevrolet, one of the two. But you could buy a brand new one for $800, $900.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Now you can't buy a set of tires with all of that.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly right. Exactly right. And you could buy 16-ounce Pepsi for 5 cents. And now it costs you $2.
Yeah.
But $2.69. I wish I could get a Pepsi for that price. Days go broke by.
Yep. A pair of white mule gloves. That was the best glove out at that time. White mule.
White mule gloves.
65 cents. Pair of white mule gloves, 65 cents.
And to me, to this day, Pepsi is still better in a glass bottle, if you can find them, than they are in them old plastic bottles.
But can you find them in a glass bottle?
You can. Certain older stores have them in glass bottles.
Okay.
James found me one. Where was it? Was in North Carolina one, James?
I'm of a question that I know everybody's wondering. How do you keep going at 93? What's the secret?
It ain't no secret.
Just go, ain't it?
Just go.
Just go.
But the Bible tell you you can lengthen your days or you can shorten them by the way you live. If you treat folk right, like you want to be treated, it's a chance that you live along. Obey your parents. And one of the reasons that obey your parents because it is right, and your days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God give you. And he said it would be, maybe. And I just figured by me being obedient, my day will lengthen. Now, you can shorten your day by being disobedient. Now the Bible said that the life of a person is 70 years and 10. That's 60, 70 years. 70 is 60 and 10 be 70. And said by reasonable strength, you make 80. But after 80, anytime. But Well, I figured after you pass 80, you're living on board time. That means when you shorten your days, you talking about you died before your time was up. And he had some of your days in my time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What year you become a preacher?
I was 50 years old.
What year?
But I was told, I reckon when I was 40, you a preacher? I said, no, I ain't no preacher. Well, you going to be one. How you know? Where you carry yourself? Now, I don't know what them old folks see in me, but I used to go places. Is you a preacher? I said, no, I ain't no preacher. Well, you going to be a preacher. When I was, I think 55, I went to a funeral in Petersburg. Our pastor that was preaching over that man Herman Nance at the church. He died, and me and my wife went down there to the funeral. We the only one from the church went to the funeral. And they had on the obituary that they wanted somebody from each church that he had pastored to say something. And whoever the operator would call the names, and he said, Matt Herman. I got up and I sung one of the songs when I got to the seat, going up there to say what I'm gonna say. Now the other folk know what they said because they done wrote it down. But ain't nobody told me I had to say nothing. And when they called my name, I got up and I sung a verse of a song on the way up there. And then when I said what I was gonna say, I went on back and sit down, a verse of another song. Then when it turned out, everybody come around, gather around me. You a preacher? No, I ain't no preacher. Well, how you do like you? I said, I don't know. And then when I come 50, I was down in low ground. We didn't know what got down there. I think it was on a New Year's Eve. I was cleaning up the low ground. And I come to the house, and my wife was cooking supper so that she wouldn't have to cook on New Year's Day. And I ate supper, and my eyesight began to fade. And I told her, I said, look, I said, it didn't scare me, but I told her, I said, look, I'm going to lay down. I didn't want her to know I couldn't see. I said, I'm going to lay down. I said, now, if I be sleeping, you can come in, don't wake me up. And I went in there and laid down, and I said my prayers. And I said, Lord, if you want me to preach your word, just give me my eyesight by tomorrow morning. And when I woke up during the night, I read about 4 days. First thing I done was pull the curtain back, see, could I see? And I could see. Well, there was no question asked. I said, when I went to bed, I said, if you want me to preach, give me my eyesight by the morning. And I hit my eyesight. So they told me, preach the word.
That's right.
You good common sense.
Yeah.
And when I went to church that Sunday morning, I got up and I told folks, I said, Lord had called me to preach. And Mama jumped straight up and said, the load been lifted off of me. Said all the week something bothering her, she couldn't figure out what it was. She didn't know what some of the children had got in trouble, got in jail, or wouldn't tell her about it or what. But said when I said that, it looked like the burden was that's lifted off of her. She got up and told her, said, now I know what was bothering me. My son gonna preach. And the pastor made arrangements for a certain date, which got and all like that. And that I don't forget what Sunday was, but anyhow, and they advertised it, put it on Facebook at that time, some kind of way. And the night that I preached my trial sermon, a whole lot of preachers were there. But I said a few words and sit down. And from then on, now one man told me he was a preacher, and I don't know. When I always went to barbershop, I didn't ever go like the motherboard did. He go somewhere shoot pool or drink beer, what you got. But I used to go by the old folks' house, sit down and talk. And this man that I talked with at the ordination said, "More you come by the house and sit down and talk." And he just talked to him and tell him, you gonna preach. But if you ever be called to a church, if they ever give you anything, accept it while a little or much. If they don't give you nothing, don't ask for nothing. Say, if God called you, he gonna take care of you. And I preached for 35 years. They ain't never asked the church for one penny. I did accept what they give me.
Well, you retired now, but don't you still stand in sometimes, don't you?
Man.
You still preach?
Yeah, preaching there. I got 2 Saturdays for the next month, 2 more for the next month, 1 for this coming Saturday, and 1 for September. I got 5, 6 already on the book for the.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you married your grandson, didn't you? To him and your grandson, him and his wife. You married them.
Yeah, yeah, I married them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that ain't been too long back.
Yeah, but I married my grandson and his wife.
He's a nice boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Moore, I'm gonna be honest with you. We thought about it. The reason we didn't ask you to marry us because it was going to be probably a rough crowd there. We figured that you didn't want to be around. It was going to be a rough bunch around. I don't drink or anything like that, but you can't, speak for other people's actions.
No. You can't speak for other people.
That's the reason I didn't ask you to marry us. We thought about it. I was like, I don't know. Some of that bunch gonna be a little rough,
Yep.
We thought about it. We talked about it for a long time. I was like,
I remember. We didn't know. We didn't want you to feel uncomfortable with people there.
Some of that crowd was there at our wedding was a little rough.
We don't drug.
I don't even remember who married us. I don't remember what he looked. It was He was ordained in Virginia and North Carolina, and I cannot think of his name. His name's on. I don't remember his face. I
can't remember him, but I had a hard time finding somebody.
Yeah, we talked about getting you to him a long time. I'm like, I don't know if Reverend Moore wants to be at this place or not. There's gonna be a few rough ones down.
But you're gonna meet all kinds of folks.
Yeah.
Just how you treat them, not how they treat you.
Yeah.
We'll stop this one right here, and I'm gonna start over for a minute.